Hello random ladies and gents, and welcome to a random review, where I review toys, movies, games, whatever, I don't know! Today we'll be taking a look at the Dino Rivals Dual Attack Nasutoceratops from the Battle at Big Rock subline of Jurassic World figures. That's right, the Beefy Boy from the Battle at Big Rock short film. For those of you who don't know what Battle at Big Rock is, it's a Jurassic World short film set in the fictional Big Rock National Park, featuring, well, a battle between a Nasutoceratops and an Allosaurus. The short film, after being delayed for some odd reason and while merchandising for the film was a mess, finally premiered on September 15th on FX. And if you want my thoughts on that masterpiece, go check out my Battle at Big Rock review. So, in in celebration, I felt it was only natural to review the dinosaur after its first ever film/TV appearance. Well, appearance in the flesh anyway. I think it rambled enough for this intro, so without further ado, let's get started. Unboxing powers! Activate! Getting right into things, the painting and texture in this figure is absolutely amazing. Not only is the application of the blackish blue and dark teal coloring blend so well, but the use of red on the frill is a great contrast of the dark colors for most of the body. Even the coloring on the belly is well done. I'm honestly impressed with how screen accurate the figure is. It really shows how much effort that went into the figure. If only the same could be said for the short film. Although, and this is a minor nitpick, it would have been better if they had painted the toes. Same goes for the bony knobs running down the frill. Speaking of the frill, is that the sculpting of the figure is pretty good. The scales and the texture in particular. The texture of the scales is the cherry on top of this beefy cake, with the individual scales neatly sculpted into the figure's surface, giving the figure so much more life and character. The same can be said for the knobs on the frill, giving the figure a much more intimidating, extravagant feel. The whole head itself is wonderfully sculpted and one of the many highlights of the figure. The horns are eerily shaped like those of a bull, not to mention being extremely long, adding to the intimidation factor. The positioning of the horns being more like those of a bull is a key characteristic of the animal, and I'm glad they managed to pull it off without making it look too much like those of a Triceratops than it's supposed to. Not only that, but it also has the key characteristic of having a curved notch instead of an actual horn at the end of the snout, which really helps it stand out among other horned dinosaurs, both in the JP universe and this toy line, as well as in real life. Such attention to the head isn't just crucial to the Nasuto itself, but to any ceratopsian dinosaur. After all, it's what makes this group of dinosaurs so iconic and unique. As mentioned in the Squishgasm from earlier, the horns and frill have a very rubbery texture for safer play. Jeez, safety regulations for toys these days are such a big... The posability for this figure is fairly standard for the most part, at least for a dinosaur or any animal figure. Legs move back and forth, no ball joints, so it sits on that fairly standard back and forth. While the head and tail aren't as posable, in fact they can't even hold a pose, they're still very mobile due to being set on their own unique set of joints. This leads me to the highlight and the key feature of this figure, the dual attack feature. Or would it be feature since it's two? Whatever! There are two buttons on this figure's back. The front button moves the head up and down, and the hind button moves the tail side to side in a swish motion. The dual attack feature is a bit of a bonus considering that most dinosaur figures either only get one action feature or no action feature at all. Also, quick side note, there's a coded sticker on the bottom of the foot for the Mattel mobile game, but I'm gonna be honest when I say that no one cares about that other than to look for figure listings. Anyway, another bonus is his size. In fact, calling him Beefy Boy isn't doing him justice. He is a super beefy boy. Here's Jurassic World World War Triceratops, Jurassic World Battle Damage Albertosaurus, Safari LCD Giga, Combiner Wars Shockwave, Wicked Cool Toys Tauros, and the Mattel Blind Bag Mini Allosaurus. Overall, this figure is awesome. I highly recommend it for kids and collectors. Although a bit more for kids because of the dual attack feature and posability being a bit more standard, but that doesn't mean you can't pose it on your shelf alongside other figures, fellow man children. For those interested, the Super Beefy Boi here is currently being sold in places like Walmart, Target, etc. The current price range for this figure is $14-15 bucks, and that's a fair price for such a fantastic figure, let alone such a beefy one. With all beef said and done, I hope you enjoyed this random review, and I wish you all a random day and happy hunting.